Hello and welcome to my first voiced video. Today we're doing a review of the worst Dark Souls review on YouTube, I think, which was made by Acerthorn, a person who got into some drama 5 months ago for suing a lot of people who talk about him, also for launching an accidental livestream in which he was being really weird, but I'm just gonna show you. Just look at this.
Beat the truth out of me. Or I will kill you. Right here. Right now.
Well, that's because you're a bitch.
Because you're a bitch. Oh, fuck.
Baby shark doo 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 doo. Baby shark doo 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 doo. Baby shark doo 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 doo.
Blah, blah, blah. Now, that might sound bad, I know, but there's really nothing to worry about. The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night.
And also, of course, for his really awful reviews, which is what we're talking about today. And I don't really get why. I mean, just look at him. I mean, peak masculinity.
You so fucking precious when you smile. Yeah. Hit it from the back and drive you wild. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Girl, I lose myself up in those eyes.
But that's all beside the point. And today, we're only gonna talk about his Dark Souls review. He also made 5 fucking follow-up videos that I won't cover, because they're fucking useless. So with all of that out of the way, we can begin. Yeah, let's start the video.
Dark Souls sucks, and today I'd like to share with you why I feel that way. What's up guys, Acerthorn here, and welcome to another video game discussion video. I do these analysis and discussion videos on a regular basis, so if you'd like to see more of them, hit that subscribe button to—
Wow, not even 20 seconds into the video, and already he asks us to subscribe to his channel. What a great start. I'm so excited to see what's coming next. So now, he talks about how he started the playthrough because of his Patreon's votes. And, by the way, I didn't watch his playthrough. Yeah, just want to point that out. But then stopped at episode 13 because he was chosen by his Patreons.
I ended the LP after only 13 episodes for 2 reasons. One of those reasons was because the game was chosen for a blind LP not by me, but by my fans at the time.
But dude, what's the point of asking people what game you should play, if then the reason why you don't play the game is because your Patreon chooses the game? And now, he complains about it not getting views.
As a YouTube content creator, I need views on my channel to survive.
Like, what are you talking about? You have 2k subs. Nobody lives from YouTube at 2k subs. And also, do you get no pleasure from being a YouTuber? Are views so important that if something doesn't get views, you will stop no matter what?
So, obviously this was disappointing.
You can have expectations on the amount of views a video will get, but the thing I got from this statement is that basically, the reason he did a poll for the game he would play was not to give the fans what they want, while also having fun. It was to get as much views as possible. And honestly, I'm pretty sure lots of From Software fans regularly search some Dark Souls playthroughs up, because they can be really entertaining. So I think the reason why you didn't get views wasn't because your fans
Lied to me.
but it's because you're an unlikable asshole. And I'm gonna skip it. He just keeps complaining and complaining about how he gave you what you wanted and you didn't watch it. And really, I'm not exaggerating. It's the first review I've ever seen that for the first 3 minutes and 50 seconds doesn't talk about the game, but instead just complains about getting views. Now, let's hope he's done whining so we can start the fucking review.
Why are you even bringing this up if it isn't going to be a factor in your retrospective? Is it just to rant about how butthurt you are about the lack of views? Well, no.
Well, That's just full. That's just totally what you just did.
It's to explain to you that I only really have 13 episodes worth of experience playing this game.
So, if saying that you only have 13 episodes of experience in Dark Souls was the real reason for this rant about getting views and getting subscribers, like, why? You could have just said how many hours you had in this game, or, I don't know, what was the last area you explored or the last boss you killed. It would have saved a lot of time. And what's even an episode? Like, I don't know how long your episodes were. I don't know how much of your actual playthrough you cut out of them. And for some reason, he talks about how he didn't have fun in his Fallout New Vegas playthrough, but still finished it because it got views.
I wasn't enjoying that game very much, but at least it was getting views. So I soldiered on and finished the game for the sake of the channel.
So this just supports the thing that I said earlier about him not continuing the playthrough because it didn't get views. Also, can we just talk for 2 seconds about his gameplay? Like, what the fuck is that? Did he not equip his class's weapon? Why does he still have his broken straight sword? And why is he spamming even when his stamina bar is clearly empty? And he's almost dead. Like, dude, this is an Asylum Hollow, the easiest mob in the game. Have you ever played a video game before? Or is your gamer instincts? Like, do you go back to baby mode experience in games whenever you start a new game? Like, seriously, I made my non-gamer sister play Dark Souls. She was doing better than you. A game reviewer. He then talks about how he's not allowed to have an opinion unless he's finished the game. And I'm gonna teach you something. An opinion and first impressions not equal review. The bare minimum for a review / retrospective is to have finished the game. And you see, I am allowed to do a review about your video because I have watched it entirely. So right now, what you're doing isn't a review. And no one is saying you're not allowed to have an opinion. We're just saying that what you're doing isn't a review, and that your opinion isn't fully informed.
If there is an arbitrary length of time I should be expected to play a game before I can have a legitimate opinion on the game, I'd probably go with 2 hours, since that's the maximum length of time I'm allowed to play the game before I can get a refund on Steam.
And no, there's no minimum time required to have an opinion. And if there was, it would heavily depend on the game. And now, we're finally going to actually start the review. Then, he goes on and talks about the intro cinematic and oh what, never mind, wait, he actually doesn't talk about it. Alright. Like, immediately not addressing this amazing and also one of the really rare cutscenes that also tells you about the basics of the lore is beyond me. And I didn't check, but he said he watched it in the first episode of his playthrough. But apparently, he has nothing to say about it in his review. What? So, next he says that basically, you know, the normal stuff. We spawn into Asylum, Oscar gives us a key and he calls him an asshole.
Anyway, some random asshole drops a key into our cell so we can escape.
That's just rude. Then, he talks about how, like, his HUD was deactivated by default, which I didn't experience, and I think nobody else did, because I haven't ever heard about this before. So, he then apparently takes 20 fucking minutes to open the door. Wow. Holy shit. Like, did you just click on every single buttons on your keyboard one by one for 20 minutes?
And right off the bat, I noticed a huge problem in this game's design. Before I literally did anything else in the game, the first order of business is to just open the fucking door, and I couldn't figure out how to do that. Turns out, the HUD does indeed tell you how to open the door, except for one tiny problem. The HUD was disabled by default.
Then, he says that having to figure out how to activate the HUD is an unfair challenge.
Seriously, game? I heard that this game was punishingly difficult and threw you precisely 0 bones throughout the entire playthrough. However, I was also consistently told that the difficulty was extreme, but fair. It never pulled any kind of cheat tricks to artificially increase the difficulty. If you ever got stuck, it's because the game bested you, not because it tricked you. So what's with this horse shit? I never expected that get good applied to the game's basic controls, making me figure out on my own something as basic as how to display the HUD? How is that a fair challenge?
I don't know if this was ironic, but that's some game journalist talk if I've ever heard some.
Alrighty. Ow! Okay, how exactly is that a fair challenge? There was literally 0.429 seconds from the moment this boulder appeared on screen to the moment it hit me. How was I supposed to dodge that?
But you're not supposed to dodge it. The boulder isn't supposed to be a fair challenge. It's supposed to get your health down so that you can use the Estus flask that Oscar will give you in 5 fucking seconds. I thought you were a game reviewer and that you could figure out this type of stuff. He then incredibly achieved the goal of beating the Asylum demon. And we're in Lordra now. He claims that the Ring of Two Bells from the Crestfallen Knight is the quest for the rest of the game, but it isn't. That's how you know he didn't even finish the first half of the game. And now he says that the biggest problem of the game is that it has no story.
And here is where we get to the biggest problem of the game. There's no real story to this game.
One of the coolest things in the FromSoft games are their cryptic, awesome lore. So much so that there are dozens of lore channels on the Souls games alone. You need to seek the lore to understand it. You read the item descriptions, pick up on environmental storytelling, character dialogue. This dude has the audacity to say that, after obviously not giving a fuck about the lore and playing the game for 5 seconds, not even beyond the first area, to say there's no story, you have to deserve the story. It doesn't just get told to you by some kind of quest thing, or I don't know, NPC or cinematic. I don't fucking know. Then he just goes on to say that the most important part of the RPGs are stories, and he also talks about Fallout again. But I don't care about that. This is the Dark Souls review. We're at 10 minutes and we just left the Asylum. And then he says that basically there's no story but a backstory. And again, this is incorrect. It's lore, not backstory. And there is a story. You just played so little of the game that you just don't know about the main objective. And I don't know, the world in general. So didn't meet or completed any NPC questline. And then, I'm sorry, but he just goes on to say some worthless garbage and just a bunch of incorrect things. I'm just too lazy to actually talk about, and that I'm just going to skip because I'm just gonna have a brain aneurysm if I keep going. He then says something that heavily confuses me. He says that the game is unfair in its difficulty, because it's constantly changing its rules.
If the game constantly throws curveballs at the player for no other reason than to just keep things difficult, that's not a fair challenge. That's just the game developers constantly changing the rules of the game simply because lol.
What are you talking about exactly? When you say rules, do you mean new enemies? Is that the unfair challenge you're talking about? Because no rules are being broken. He also said that he was unable to recognize any pattern of attacks from any enemies.
I was unable to ascertain any real attack patterns from these enemies.
I think you're the problem here, and also retarded. We're in the early parts of the game. The enemies are slow, don't do a lot of damage, get staggered easily, and have really easily readable attacks as well. So my diagnosis here is just a little bit of a skill issue. And then, one of the most ridiculous parts of his retrospective is that he takes a lot of time talking about the 3 rats he come across in the Undead Bug, saying that they're super unfair because they inflict poison, and I don't think I need to say anything else here, except that I'm not joking.
These damn rats. If I get hit by them, I suffer a poison effect. Now, on paper, this doesn't seem like too much of a problem. However, the poison effect from these rats lasts so long.
And even more hilarious, he even says that these rats belong in the endgame because of that.
Of the rats being the equivalent of a one-hit KO. While I would certainly expect that level of difficulty given Dark Souls' reputation, I would have expected that in the end game.
Dude, it's Dark Souls 1, not 2. Poison is slow. And maybe in the really early game, if you didn't level up HP and also don't drink any Estus, yeah, I guess you can die from it. And another incorrect thing he says is that rats poison him in one attack, and no, it takes 3 hits to get poisoned. So, I mean, to get poisoned at this level. And then he complains that enemies respawn after you rest at a bonfire. Like, dude, the game would be a fucking wasteland after killing once every enemy of any area, and it would make backtracking the most boring thing ever. And after some more complaining about fucking rats, like, it's just fucking beyond me, it's hilarious at the same time. He also points out that he keeps fighting the same enemies.
I literally just keep fighting the same enemies.
We'll stop fucking going back to the bonfire to rest every time. He then says over and over for 3 minutes straight for some reason.
The exact same enemies over and 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 again.
And then he rage quits before even trying to fight the gargoyles. So, that's it. In this Dark Souls review, he killed 2 bosses out of the 22 and explored 4 areas out of the 29. Yeah, and there you have it. The worst review of Dark Souls I have ever witnessed. And also, everyone in the comments are rightfully just clowning on him. So he just answers whatever to any comment, whatever they're saying. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, with it being my first voiced one, because it's all fun and games with invasions, but I wanted to diversify myself while still for now being on the topic of From Software games. So yeah, anyways, thank you for watching, and yeah, subscribe. See you next time.